Your favorite fat boys.
Man, what a truck, bitch!
What's up, everybody? Your favorite fat boy, Jerron.
Stefan, a.k.a. Mayhem, a.k.a. your middle-aged mutant ninja turtle, a.k.a. the fattest martial artist you know.
The fairest?
The fattest.
Oh, the fattest. Oh, man. What's up, everybody? Hope everybody doing well. So this is our podcast episode dedicated to summer movies and the movies we saw during the summer here.
So this is going to be another hero talk. Hero time it is.
What the? So let's see. Me and Stefan seen Black Widow, The Suicide Squad, and we just saw Shang Chi today. So we'll go and give our breakdown to each one and a recommendation to it or not based on how we felt about the movie. So let's start with Black Widow. What you think?
I think that it was 2 years too late. It didn't really add anything to the character. And most of the time, the only question I was asking is, how is she surviving this shit? Because there was a lot of hits and a lot of action stunt pieces where it's like, oh, she should just be dead.
Yeah, how she survived a lot. The ongoings in that movie was a surprise to me.
Yeah,
and like you said, it did feel, I won't say 2 years too late, but I think that they did a solo Black Widow movie. It probably should have been done maybe in phase 2. Or phase 3, because this is phase 4, right? Or this is ending phase 4.
Yeah.
So it should have been done.
No, I think that's the end of the phase 3.
Okay, yeah, it should have been done some years ago, because how they led up to Infinity War, it was like these real subtle nuances, like her vest that she got from her sister. That's what she wore in the movie, and then at the end, like her hair, she changed her hair color, got a haircut. That's what she had in Infinity War, so it just felt like...
Yeah, in Endgame. Because, this movie takes place after Infinity War and right before Endgame.
Yeah, so if you're looking for, I guess, another part of this, of her story to round out her ending in Endgame, it doesn't add anything extra.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. It really doesn't add much to her story and to her as a character.
No, but it was some entertaining set pieces there. I feel like the Taskmaster was underutilized.
Yeah, it felt like, based off the Taskmaster in the comics, this version, the movie version, felt a bit of a dud. It was a silent antagonist.
Yeah,
I hate when they do that, especially when you got characters like Taskmaster, who is a trash-talking mercenary, and then you got this quiet, reserved, not saying a goddamn thing version of it. The same way how I felt with Deadpool and X-Men Origins.
I was just about to say that. They Deadpooled him.
Yeah, straight up Deadpooled him.
Yeah. So I would, go check it out for what it is. I mean, it's part of the MCU. So
if you want a mindless action movie, you can get that here. But as far as it adding anything to the character, I don't feel like it did.
No, just, she got another great payday, I guess, out of it.
Yeah, I'm saying, if you got 2 hours to burn and you got nothing better to do, watch it. If you got better things to do those things.
All right. And then there's the Suicide Squad. So this is James Gunn's version of the Suicide Squad, written and directed by him. And I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did as well. It felt like it might have been a sequel, but could have been a reboot. They wanted to make sure they was extremely vague on that.
Yeah. Like you are familiar. They played it as if you are familiar with the characters, which we are. Rick Flag, Harley Quinn, Amanda Waller, and Captain Boomerang. Some of these characters is from the previous movie, but they don't touch on anything that happened previously from the first Suicide Squad.
Right. So they kind of played it like it was a sequel, but kind of shaped it like it's being a reboot. It had that James Gunn flair. It was definitely a fun movie, stupid action movie, extremely funny dialogue between the characters.
Great soundtrack.
Yeah, very great soundtrack.
Yeah, and you tell that Warner Brothers told him to do whatever you want.
Whatever.
Here's the reins.
Anybody can die. We don't care.
Yeah. So it was I enjoyed it. It's definitely better than the first one.
Much so.
As far as the villain and the storytelling, one thing I'm tired of seeing in certain team-up movies, if you will, or movies where like there's a lot of characters involved, it's a sense of family. Oh, these are my friends, these are my family, and it's like they haven't spent any time really establishing that kind of connection.
Right. That thing that the first movie kept trying to drive home. We're a family. Nah, bitch, we just met each other 2 days ago.
Y'all some convicts. So, not saying convicts can't have family, but it was never established. And in this one, it was more so like, all right, we're going to stick together, make it through, but we not like doing none of this emotional shit.
Right. And, and they weave the origin story of each character throughout the movie as opposed to trying to feed it all to us at the very front of it.
Yeah. Different parts of it, you got, different sprinkles of everybody's origin story. So it was a very entertaining movie.
Yeah, definitely. So I would recommend it. It was one of the best movies that Warner Brothers has had in a while.
That's saying a lot.
A whole lot.
So and then there's a Shang Chi, which just came out yesterday on 3rd.
Yeah,
so
came out
Saturday,
Friday.
So Shang Chi is very entertaining. I enjoyed it. Well, it was different than the regular origin movies of Marvel.
Yeah,
it wasn't so like Iron Man and Captain America and Thor, like those kind of all felt some similar to in a certain way. This one was more so. It reminded me of Black Panther, but not in the same vein as Black Panther.
So now also because I did like the movie, and what I definitely liked about it was how clean the fight choreography was.
Mm-hmm.
The fight choreography was so clean. The movements were definitely, you could tell that the stuntmen and the main stars definitely practiced. Exact opposite of Netflix Iron Fist movie, a TV series where the main star, who's supposed to be a master martial artist, could not fucking fight for shit. Not a lot of cuts in the choreography. Definitely the fighting is off the chain. And that ending that came out of fucking nowhere.
Right.
My God, I did not expect the ending that movie had. And honestly, that is a good thing, that it subverted my expectation of how a Marvel movie is supposed to end.
Right. It was definitely a great ending. It came out like left field. Because you look at the movie like, oh, where is this going? And then it's this big CGI fight. And I know like a lot of times people hate that, the CGI being used so much in movies. But like, let's be honest though. Like, to pull some of this stuff off, you're gonna need a CGI scene like this.
You can't really have a superhero movie without CGI.
Yeah,
and especially with this ending, because normally for a Marvel ending, you expect the hero to have a battle with somebody who has similar powers to him, and they made sure they had that. That's part of your expectation, is to see that, and you see that. But then the real ending, they say, let's throw that shit out the water. Let's do something completely different we've never done before. It's in the same vein that Doctor Strange did.
Yeah.
Where they completely subvert how the Marvel movie is supposed to end.
Yeah, I agree with you there 100%. So yeah, Shang-Chi is definitely, worth seeing. Give it a check, definitely check that out. I don't think you'd be disappointed. The fight scenes remind me of Hidden Tiger, Crouching
Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah, definitely had that.
That kind of smooth type of martial arts.
Yeah, that Chinese martial arts wushu type of movie.
Yeah. So and then there's an end credits, 2 end credit scenes.
Yeah, a mid-credit scene and an end-credit scene.
Spoiler alert, we're going to talk about that right here, right now. So by the time this comes out, you should already probably read about it or seen it. So Wong comes and gets Shang-Chi and Katie from a bar and tell them we need to talk. When they go to, I guess, was it Sanctum Sanctorum?
Yeah, Sanctum Sanctorum.
Sanctum Sanctorum. See, that 5 times fast. They have like a phone conference. But it's a holographic phone conference with Captain Marvel and Bruce Banner, and they're trying to figure out what the origins are of the 10 rings, and how long they've been in existence. And they figure out that by using the 10 rings, by Shang-Chi and his father using 10 rings, it's emitting a beacon to somewhere. So of course, they don't know where it's sending this beacon to, but that's the big mystery now going on as far as that with Marvel. But one interesting thing here is that Bruce Banner was Bruce Banner. He wasn't Professor Hulk.
Right, like he was at the end of Endgame.
So that was interesting to kind of see that he was just his regular self and not Professor Hulk. You got She-Hulk coming out sometime next year.
Yeah.
Sometime next year. So that should explain why he's like that. That for that kind of made that connection there.
Yeah, so I'm definitely loving the fact that Marvel was having this interconnectivity. They've always had the interconnectivity with other movies, but now they are actually incorporating their TV series into these things as well.
Yeah, speaking of TV series, we watched WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Well, I guess we should say Captain America and Winter Soldier.
Yeah. Loki. And
Loki, if you have not watched it, sets up the next big bad in Marvel, which is Kang the Conqueror.
Yeah. And does it in a masterful way.
Yeah.
Said if you haven't checked out Loki, watch it. I mean, it's a short series, but watch it for that very last episode with Jonathan Majors, who just carries the weight of the fucking MCU on his back with his performance.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see how they carry that character out because there are different versions of him.
Yes.
So I'm wondering what version we're going to see in Ant-Man and the Wasp and, what's it,
right.
Quantumania.
Yeah.
And where else he might pop up at, what version of him we're going to get.
Right, because the version that you see in him and Loki is a guy who's been around for a very long time and is just tired and a little unhinged because from loneliness and knowing so much and then doing whatever he's been doing for a very long time.
Yeah, so Loki sets that up, and then also there's season 2, and there was no end credits for that, right?
No.
Yeah, it just said season 2 coming. So WandaVision season 2, I don't think so.
No, I believe they said that they really couldn't do a season 2 because of the way they did it.
Okay.
So it was kind of a one and done, but she will be in the next Doctor Strange movie.
Right. So whatever happens in Spider-Man is going to carry over to Doctor Strange.
Right.
And she'll be a part of that. Yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier led to Sam Wilson becoming Captain America, and now they're doing a Captain America 4.
Yep.
So he just signed on for that, and hopefully Sebastian Stan, they'll sign him on too and have him, reprise his role.
So even though at the end of Captain America and Winter Soldier, I mean, does Bucky still need to be the Winter Soldier? He's trying to run away from that, but I guess he didn't have that character growth to get away from it. But whatever. Yeah, it's a little nitpick.
I mean, what in the comics did he go by something else?
Yeah, I mean, he goes by a lot of different names. But, the Winter Soldier is I've been under Hydra's control and killing folks. You don't want to go by that anymore.
I mean, that's a name that still strikes fear in the heart. You run up on somebody.
Right.
So, and then what else was there?
There's been the What Ifs series on Disney Plus as well.
Yeah, that's been cool.
Yeah. So the first episode for me with Captain Britain was, it wasn't great, but I still enjoyed it a little bit. But from episode 2 on, it's been extremely good.
Yeah. Episode 2 is when they had T'Challa, Star-Lord. And that tugged on the heartstrings because that was the last time reprising that role.
Yeah.
So, and they did a really good job of kind of rounding that out into a good little 30-minute story. What was the third episode about?
The third episode was the Ant-Man episode, which was good, but it felt rushed because they were trying to tell a lot of story in that little 30-minute time frame. But it was still a good episode, even though it felt rushed. And then the last episode that just happened was the Doctor Strange Destroys the Universe episode, which was very good.
Yeah, and it also was an emotional one too because he was trying to save his girlfriend over and over again, different ways using the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah, or the Time Stone.
Right, and every scenario that he went through, she ended up dying, and that was just really tough to see because he was going through it each and every time he remembered it. More so than he remembered the last time.
Right.
So upcoming movies, we got The Eternals in November.
Yeah.
That last trailer finally came out. And it finally shows you them doing something.
Yes, that last trailer really got my excitement high for the movie. The first trailer, I was like,
I don't know what's going on.
I got some Eternal comic books. Then they're not my favorite. But that last trailer that just came out.
Are they newer comics?
No, they're old.
Old
Eternal comics. So I was like, I was like, it's not great. But that last trailer definitely got me excited to see the movie.
And this is probably the most diverse cast in a Marvel movie.
Oh, it definitely is.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
Because I think one of the guys from the movie was in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I don't know who that little girl, little boy.
I don't know. Could be either one. Whatever.
Right. Diversity.
Right. So they got pretty much every race represented.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that because then the way they play the Eternals is that they've been around for 7,000 years, and during the course of what's been happening in the MCU, they've been around, but they have not been involved, and they were told not to get involved in anything.
Yeah, unless there was this, extraterrestrial entity that they were created to fight was involved. So if it didn't involve them, you sit the fuck down.
Right, because imagine if you had Endgame or Infinity War, and these how many Eternals is it?
Was like 7?
7 Eternals can pop out of nowhere and they change the course of the battle. Like, imagine how that would have went.
Right, people who are as strong as Thanos is.
Right, like, would that just ended that, quickly, or would they have brought in another big bad to try to even things out?
Right.
So, but who knows? And then lastly, we got Spider-Man No Way Home. Finally dropped the trailer. And I can't wait till this comes out in December.
Oh, yes. I'm finally excited for the Eternals, but I am definitely excited for what they do with Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yes, they are. So they pick up where the second one left off. The Spider-Man's identity is exposed. He wants Doctor Strange's help to change it so that nobody knows who he is, but he's tinkering with, certain aspects of it, and leads to, I guess, an implosion of the multiverse.
Right, because the multiverse has just happened, so now them making this change must screw up some other stuff that's going on. Because again, before the Loki series occurred, there was no MCU multiverse.
No. So now we got that introduced. So we see that there's the Green Goblin. Well, we know Electro's in there because Jim Fox says he's in there.
And then at the end of that trailer, when Alfred Molina's Doc Ock comes up and says, "Hey, Peter," I was like, "Oh, I'm done."
Right. And there's still, you still have in that universe, well, I don't say in the universe, but in that series, the Vulture's still alive.
Yep.
You have the Scorpion, who's not yet the Scorpion, but he is around.
Yeah, Matt Gargan is there.
Right. And I guess you might have it might be a lingering Mysterio, maybe. Yeah. It could be Mysterio might be lingering around.
I mean, he did die at the end of the last movie.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely could have the makings of a Sinister Six.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to pull it off. So I'm really curious to see if they introduce a whole new villain. But that would be, I think that'd be too much like that, because we already, if they're going to do this, with this multiverse, we already know these 3 villains. So there's no need to kind of flesh out that backstory.
Right.
So, but if they do a 6th villain, who is it going to be? Only the Shocker? Well, no. Well, yeah.
Well, technically in the first movie, the Shocker was just the tech.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, they could have him in there.
Yeah, but I want to kind of impact would he have, I guess, adding to the Sinister Six. Because you got Green Goblin and Doc Ock.
And again, this is all just speculation.
Yeah, just those are some pretty big heavy hitters right there.
So yeah, this is Sinister Six is just speculation on our part. Yeah. We don't know.
So, the second trailer, the second trailer probably sometime was September now, November probably.
Yeah, probably October, November they'll have another trailer.
Yeah, so. But I can't wait for that, because then that ends. Does that end Phase 4? That's just like part of the.
No, it doesn't end Phase 4.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of good things come from Marvel. And they come from DC.
This year, outside of the Suicide Squad, no. The next movie they got coming up, I believe, is The Batman.
That's
with
like
Robert Pattinson.
That's 2022.
Yeah.
So I think they started filming. Well, they've been started filming that, but I think they picked it up again because it was like somebody had a COVID scare.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson had COVID.
Okay.
So that halted production. But then they went back and I believe they probably already finished it in the next DC fandom that they got coming up in a couple of weeks. They're going to have a new trailer for it.
Okay.
So we're going to get some more information about that.
And you also got Black Adam coming out next year.
Yeah. So
The Rock has been teasing pictures here and there. Not more so of him, but like the set and a silhouette of him.
Yeah.
And, maybe in costume or just, kind of, he bubbling up for that role.
And they've had this, the set adorned with black and gold to say, Black Adam. So I'm interested to see how he plays the character because of the fact that in the comic books, Black Adam, he's very regal and very stoic and not so much what The Rock normally does.
Right.
So Black Adam is pretty much like a silent character and a force to be reckoned with. So I'm curious to see how The Rock plays that character.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because they have they're introducing, was it Justice Society?
Yeah.
So they got some characters from that rank of the DC heroes.
And now, who knows if this actually fits into some connected DC universe, because we know they don't really do that anymore. They just kind of said, fuck it, because they failed at it.
Well,
I do believe that Black Adam is supposed to be in a Shazam movie.
Yes. They said about the third one. They planning for a third Shazam movie. So they said the third one, they want Black Adam in that one. Because they've already pretty much written the script for Shazam and the Fury of the Gods. And they don't have him in there.
Right.
So that probably has to do something with maybe the Rock's schedule, because he's probably going to do... He's going to do Jungle Cruise 2. That's already been greenlit or been talked about right now. And he got another movie kind of called Red Notice. November.
I saw the trailer for that the other day.
And then so he does like, what, 2-3 movies a year almost, seem like?
Yeah, more than... Maybe upwards of 4 and 5 movies a year.
Well, he probably does that in a year, but they kind of span him out. So he's a busy man. Yeah. Then he got his own TV show,
So, outside of that, there's really nothing else going on with DC while they try to figure out what the fuck they're doing with their properties.
They had the Flash movie coming out. I think that started filming. Yeah. So, we'll see how that connects to everything going on in DCU or the Snyderverse or whatever you want to call it.
Well, the Snyderverse is going.
So, it's been interesting with these summer movies because it hasn't had the same impact like it had, pre-COVID. This is all kind of post-COVID, and we're still going through COVID. So, they're saying like, oh, it's a great weekend. It's like the number's like 20-25 million over the weekend.
Yeah, Black Widow made what they call the post-pandemic record, and its gross for the weekend was like 80 million, which normally would be a failure, but you have to take into account the current situation in the world today.
Yeah, because some of the movies are releasing on streaming services. So you like HBO Max,
Disney Plus.
They're releasing, they're releasing the same day as they hit theaters. And Scarlett Johansson is actually suing Disney because Disney released Black Widow on Disney Plus.
Yeah, because she had a deal with them that she would get money on the back end based off of the domestic, theater gross. Yeah. But once it released on Disney Plus, the amount of money that they made from the movie doing that pre-release on Disney Plus, she doesn't get any of that. So she's like, they did that outside of the fairness of the contract because apparently they tried to renegotiate to include Disney Plus release, and they was like, no. So we'll see. Stick it to the man, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, because I read the article yesterday about the Russo brothers. They're looking to see how this plays out, because that will determine if they do another Marvel movie themselves.
I mean, even Kevin Feige was like, don't do that shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Kevin Feige came out and said he really didn't appreciate what Disney was doing to her because, you got to respect your stars.
Right.
So, again, we'll see how it plays out. Said 9 times out of 10, Disney going to want to do arbitration so that it doesn't go to court. Yeah. And just pay her some ridiculous sum of money.
Well, Disney can pay me some money because I want to sue right now.
Don't know what for.
Now I ain't got a case, but I can sue somebody. Damn it, get some money, be a quick little fix. That'd be a good liquor right there.
Made this sound like you about to do some cocaine.
Yours is bad, okay?
So outside of that, is there any other TV shows that you checked out?
Nah, I've been watching like DC movies on the DC animated movies on HBO Max.
Okay.
So I've been rewatching those. I watched like Green Lantern the other day, the Justice League movies and all them.
Yeah, I watched the entire first season of The Adventures of Superman and Lois Lane. Ew. I'm not going to say it was bad. It started out fairly decent. Mm-hmm. It was better than it had any right to be. Seriously, it's a CW show. It was better than, but then it did that CW thing where it started to lean really heavy into the teen drama. Oh, okay. So that whiny, annoying kids being whiny, annoying kids. so that really got on my nerves. And the main villain wasn't great, and he lasted throughout the entire season. They left it on a bit of a cliffhanger, so there's going to be a season 2, but I don't know if I'm going to come back for a season 2.
Well, CW likes to renew their series for years and years and years. So I don't know if this is going to last as long as The Flash and Green Arrow.
I don't think it will, seeing as how it's ratings dropped substantially from the first few episodes because that's when it kind of took a dip in quality. Okay. So, but we'll see. It's definitely probably getting to season 2 though.
Yeah, and I think CW is probably going to. It's time for them to kind of maybe revamp that lineup because for the past 10 years it's been number DC stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, and you know, you put on what gets watched.
Yeah,
and they're already ending a lot of their superhero slated shows.
Yeah, because Black Lightning ended.
Supergirl's ending.
Did you watch season 4 of Black Lightning?
I did not.
Did you watch the last episode?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
I was going to, but by the end of season 3, I was so put off by it. I was like, I can't come back for another season. But yeah, I will give it the benefit of watching the last episode.
I mean, I watched. I need somebody to talk to about it.
He said, I will give it the benefit of watching the last episode.
Okay. So yeah, that's the only thing I've been watching.
All right. Well, that's nothing else. I believe that covers everything.
So yeah. So thank you for tuning into summer movie special. If you can go out check these movies out. If not, subscribe to one of these streaming services. Don't forget to wear your mask. Get vaccinated if you can. If you haven't,
right. And then when you go to the theater, make sure you wear your mask. So, all right, that's the show. And as always, you can check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify.
Like, comment, and share, and subscribe to the channel.
Peace.
Peace out.